We can talk now to the Labour prospective parliamentary candidate for Mid Dorset and North Pool, Steve Brew, who joins me on the phone. Steve, good morning.
Good morning, Steve.
Would you enter a pact with the Green Party and the Liberal Democrats?
Well, I suppose the short answer is no. There are going to be three names on the ballot paper in Mid Dorset and North Pool, and mine will be one of them. I shall be campaigning for for Labour policies, and I fully understand the frustration and anger that there is about the effects of the Tory government's policies on Mid Dorset, North Pool, and right across the country. But if I put it bluntly, if people want to get rid of the Tories, they need to vote Labour.
Really, though, people might not have these figures in front of them, so let me just run through the last couple of elections in this constituency. In 2010, the seat was won by the Liberal Democrats. In 2015, it was won by the Conservative Party. In both of those elections, Labour polled at about 2,700. So your chances of winning, certainly going back over the last couple of elections, if you campaign as a Labour Party for this seat, they're pretty slim.
Well, I think that's a fair comment, but I wouldn't suggest that means people who support Labour's policies should switch their votes elsewhere. And because I remember what happened in 2010. That was the argument.
Well, in 2010, we got a Liberal Democrat Conservative coalition, and some might say that the Liberal Democrats then were able to temper some of the Conservative policies and able to drag them back from some of the further right-wing policies that they may have had. Now, whether you think that's a good or bad thing depends on whether you're a Conservative Party supporter.
I would disagree with that completely. I think that it's a moot point, let's say at best. We ended up with people who voted for Liberal Democrat MP in Dorset ended up with a Tory Prime Minister, a Tory Chancellor, 5 years of Tory austerity, cuts to public services, and all the misery that went along with that.
And some might say that was because of the worldwide economic meltdown, which happened while there was a Labour Prime Minister presiding over the country. That would drag us down an avenue which maybe we're not here to talk about.
Let me just correct you on that. It was quite clear that the financial crash did not occur because of a Labour government, and that the Tories' policies on austerity were what killed off the growth and began the destruction of the public services that we desperately need.
A cul-de-sac we could talk about for some time.
We could, maybe on another occasion.
The fact of the matter here is that the chances of you as a Labour Party representative, a prospective parliamentary candidate in this seat, a chance of you winning are very slim.
Well, I think the fact that we've now got three candidates, and I heard Vicky Slade earlier on the radio saying it was a two-horse race. Clearly the arithmetic's gone a bit awry there because there are three of us on the ballot paper, and that does change the landscape in the constituency. I would strongly urge people who previously or otherwise might have voted Green to look closely at Labour's environmental policies, in particular Labour's social policies, many of which track very closely to the Greens' policies. I would urge even people who voted UKIP, who now have no candidate, to think again about who they want to vote for and not automatically vote for the Conservatives, because the issue that they may have preferred is Brexit, and Brexit will happen. The Tory party will deliver one kind of Brexit, which I happen to think will be extremely destructive. The Labour Party have accepted that Brexit will happen, but they will focus on a constructive way to secure jobs and our economy. So I think everybody, and that includes all voters, really need to look afresh at the policies and the approach of the different parties and make up their own minds.
Steve, it's really good to talk to you this morning. Steve Brew there, standing for the Labour Party in the Mid Dorset and North Pool constituency.